Welcome, Ashok Wadwa of Rockwell Automation, to a brief video demonstration of the Japan Unix desktop soldering system sold and serviced by Fancord Industries. We're going to shoot the video in a two-part series. It'll be, the first part will be just a brief explanation of all the major components of the soldering system, and then the second part will actually be watching it solder a couple of your assemblies. So let's get right on to the basic components of the robot. Our basic components consist of the actual base robot with the X cable and the part to be soldered. We also have the Y, Z, and rotational axis head, which will move in the Y direction, Z direction, and rotational. Attached to the attached to the YZR head is our solder feeder, which has our spool of solder and feeds the solder down through a tube, which comes in different diameters based on the solder diameter we're working with, delivers it through a small needle down here to the actual iron tip. And this, of course, is our soldering head mechanism with our up-down air actuator, nitrogen supply, and solder supply. Here to the left of the robot, we have the soldering controller, which basically takes the commands from the teach pendant with the soldering condition and executes them through the solder feeder. There's also some manual controls on that feeder for heater on and off, stop clear error, forward reverse solder feed, and start stop control. Right next to that solder controller we have a nitrogen generator, freestanding, which works off of standard shop air and delivers nitrogen through the regulator pressure gauge and out through the robot, and through this green hose delivers nitrogen to a cap around the tip. One of the other features that we also have is standard with all our robots is a blow cleaner vacuum system, which will we program our iron tip to come down into this slot in the top, and it'll blow off excess solder and vacuum it away through this hose, and it actually gets pulled up into a small vacuum canister that has replaceable bags in it. The only other components that we didn't cover, and we'll cover those really quickly, are the teaching pendant, which all the programming, X, Y, Z data, soldering condition data is all programmed here, and then once it's saved via the pendant, it's stored in the flash memory of the robot itself. That's our pendant. The only other item that we have is right to the left of the actual robot body is our remote start and emergency stop switch. I think that pretty much has covered all the basic components, so we'll take a brief pause, and then when we come back we will watch the system soldering a couple of your assemblies. Brief description, and now we're going to actually run a couple of parts for you. The first part we're going to run in what they call the demo mode, so the point-to-point speed will only be 60%, a little easier to watch. Then we'll take a brief pause, and then we'll run another sample at the full speed, which would be the switch run mode, production mode. You're also going to notice a blow clean prior to soldering, so the iron tip will come down into the blow clean station and then blow up and then solder. And we'll take a look at that on the second cycle. Okay, so we're going to run the first part now. Okay. Okay, Ashok, now we're going to run one more part at the full switch run mode, 100% point-to-point speed. The first part was about 21 seconds total cycle time for the 4 connections. This should be about 30% less. We'll see now. We're going to run it. Okay, the cycle time on that was about 18.5 seconds. That concludes the video, and thank you so much.